What's hood with you? This is Opinionated 3000. I'm your host, Mr. Opinionated. Let's hop right in and see what they got cooking. Well, this one I ain't gonna hop right in. Man, the internet has been going ham on Diddy for a while now. Like, it seemed like when you think it dies down, something else will come out that'll boost it right back up. So now let's see what they got cooking.
What's one misconception about you?
There are no misconceptions about it.
Diddy.
Indeed, Combs' own success as a rapper, record producer, and record executive is unparalleled, with multiple Grammy Awards and MTV Video Music Awards under his belt.
The allegations are absolutely horrific.
But his journey hasn't been without its share of controversies. Combs has faced legal issues, including a lawsuit for landlord neglect and an assault charge. Today, we're about to dive deep into one of the many scandalous and captivating relationships Sean Diddy Combs has. Evidence of some kind of affair has gone viral, and this time it so happens to be with the man of many names and the mysterious figure known as Keefe
Keefe
D.
D.
and Keefe D's relationship. Sean Combs, born on November 4th, 1969, in Harlem, New York City, had a childhood filled with challenges that would shape his future. At a young age, he tragically lost his father, which left a lasting impact on him. Despite this early setback, Combs was determined to make something of himself. He attended Mount St. Michael Academy, where he not only excelled academically, but also showcased his talent on the football field. Combs' passion for music began to take shape during his time as an intern at Uptown Records. This experience allowed him to learn the ins and outs of the music industry and fueled his ambition to create something of his own.
Yeah, didn't he go from being an intern to getting a solid position, but then right after that, getting a loan from what's dude's name, Jimmy Iovine, and starting Bad Boy, and he got a interest, not even a loan, it was like a gift, I believe. I wasn't there. It just didn't seem right. It seemed like he'd already had something on Jimmy Iovine.
The vision in mind, Combs took a leap of faith and founded his own record label, Bad Boy Records, in 1993. The success of Bad Boy Records was nothing short of extraordinary. Combs had an uncanny ability to spot talent, and he quickly signed artists like the Notorious Big, Mary J. Blige, and Usher, catapulting them to superstardom. His debut album, No Way Out, became a massive hit, certified 7 times platinum and earning him widespread acclaim. Combs' collaborations with artists like the Notorious Big, Mary J. Blige, and Usher further solidified his position as a force to be reckoned with in the music industry. His unique blend of rap, R&B, and pop sensibilities set him apart from his peers and made him a true innovator. One of the most notable was his rivalry with Death Row Records, which ignited a heated and often violent feud with its founder, Suge Knight. This clash between two music moguls.
Please tell me this man didn't call him Suge Knight. Come on. Or is this an AI talking? I thought it was a regular person.
True innovator. One of the most notable was his rivalry with Death Row Records, which ignited a heated and often violent feud with its founder, Suge Knight. This clash between two music moguls sent shockwaves through the industry and left a trail of sensational
If this is a real person who said Suge Knight instead of Suge Knight, you obviously are not part of this culture. Bye-bye. You need to be up out of here, for real.
headlines in its wake. Combs also faced allegations of commercializing hip-hop, with critics arguing that he prioritized mainstream success over the authenticity of the genre. These accusations sparked heated debates within the music community and further fueled the controversies surrounding his career. In addition to these controversies, Combs has been involved in various legal issues. In 1999, he was implicated in a nightclub shooting incident, but was found not guilty on all charges. He has also faced arrest for driving with a suspended license and allegations of sexual harassment.
I thought that 99 case was a stabbing when Shine went to jail, went to prison, and everybody said that Shine was taking the case for Diddy, and Diddy the one who stabbed that man. Mm.
harassment, which tarnished his reputation and sparked public outrage. The impact of these controversies on Combs' career cannot be ignored. While some industry figures distanced themselves from him, others stood by his side, recognizing his contributions to music and entertainment. Despite the controversies, Combs has received numerous awards and accolades, including Grammy Awards and other prestigious honors, cementing his status as a true icon in the industry. In the early days of Sean Diddy Combs' career, before he became the iconic figure we know today, he found himself at Uptown Records, a record label that would shape his future. It was during this time that Diddy's path crossed with the enigmatic figure known as Keefe D. Eyewitnesses have confirmed that Diddy and Keefe D had a close relationship, often seen together at various social gatherings. They would gamble, drink, and have a great time, enjoying the perks that came with their rising success. Whether it was late-night sessions at the casinos or hanging out in luxurious hotel suites, Diddy and...
So Diddy was dealing with Keefe before he was a major star. Maybe that was his way of having security on the West Coast, because everybody knew that Keefe D was well plugged in Crip. So maybe that's possible. And then it would probably help to have a well-known Crip in your back pocket when you beefing with Suge Knight, who was known to roll with Pyrus. So I'm still not taking anything away from their relationship, but it do seem off a little bit. Now that this man's saying that you paid him money, or you were supposed to pay him money, and he never got that bag. Y'all tell me what y'all think on that one. Is Puffy involved in that? I'm sure he gonna speak on that down the road. Let me quit jumping the gun.
Keefe D were inseparable. It's important to note that Keefe D was not involved in Diddy's security. While he had his own crew of individuals around him, they were not hired as security personnel. Instead, they were there to have fun and enjoy the party atmosphere that surrounded Diddy. This distinction is crucial in understanding the dynamics of their relationship. As Diddy's star continued to rise, so did the controversies surrounding him. The rivalry between Bad Boy Records, Diddy's label, and Death Row Records, led by Suge Knight, intensified. This rivalry reached its peak when the tragic murder of Tupac Shakur occurred in 1996. Keefe D's name became intertwined with the Tupac murder case, as rumors circulated that he was in the car with the individuals responsible for the shooting. However, it's important to clarify that Keefe D later clarified that he was not actually present during the shooting. The details surrounding the events of that fateful night remain.
I saw this man on Vlad TV say that he handed his nephew the gun for him to go ahead and handle his business. His cousin or his nephew, I don't remember which one it was, but he handed him the gun for him to shoot up the car, because he was the man who had just got jumped in the casino by Tupac and all of his security team and friends. So, and that always made me wonder if Diddy actually gave or was supposed to give them a bag. Was it something that they were just supposed to get whenever they took care of the business, and this was just the perfect opportunity to hit Pac? Or was this night already planned and the trigger man just got jumped on by Tupac and Suge and pretty much all of Death Row? What's going on with that? That part I don't know. And that seems kind of weird. Was this supposed to be the night, and it just so happened who got jumped on by them? That's why I never believed the story about Keefe D, because if he was supposed to be getting a bag for killing Pac, was that supposed to be whenever it happened? Or did this night set it off? Was this night the planned night? And to me, that doesn't make sense, because the shooter literally just got jumped by Tupac. I don't think Puffy was paying no money on that. And Keefe himself said he never got the money. But I don't think there was ever a play in motion where Puffy was supposed to give him the money. It seemed like Pac dying was strictly because they jumped on Keefe D people. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion.
Remained shrouded in mystery. Despite the controversies surrounding them, Diddy and Keefe D's friendship remained intact. They continued to support each other through the ups and downs of their respective careers. However, it's crucial to separate their personal connection from the legal implications that have surrounded Keefe D. As the years went by, Diddy's career soared to new heights. He established himself as a successful rapper, producer, and entrepreneur. From his early successes with Bad Boy Records to his ventures in fashion, fragrance, and even the restaurant industry, Diddy became a force to be reckoned with. Meanwhile, Keefe D's involvement in the Tupac murder case brought him into the spotlight. But without concrete evidence, it remains a subject of speculation. The burden of
She's different.
A lot of speculation.
She's a witch.
proof lies with the authorities. And without physical evidence or eyewitness testimonies, it becomes challenging to build a solid case. The relationship between Diddy and Keefe D has not been without its fair share of controversies and legal battles. While their friendship remained strong, they found themselves entangled in a web of accusations and speculations that would shape their public image. One of the most significant controversies surrounding Diddy and Keefe D is their alleged involvement in the murder of Tupac Shakur. Keefe D's name became associated with the case, as rumors circulated that he was in the car with the individuals responsible for the shooting. However, it's important.
Ain't no damn rumors. Keefe D himself said that. So it's not just like people pulling this out of thin air or making assumptions he was there. He said he was there. He wrote a book saying he was there. That's not an assumption at all.
Important to note that Keefe D later clarified that he was not actually present during the shooting. The details surrounding the events of that fateful night remain shrouded in mystery. The authorities have been relentless in their pursuit of justice, but with concrete evidence, it becomes easier to build a solid case. The burden of proof lies with the prosecution, and without physical evidence or reliable eyewitness testimonies, it becomes an uphill battle. Over the years, various law enforcement agencies have revisited the evidence, hoping to uncover new leads. However, without any breakthroughs, the case remains unsolved. It's important to remember that murder is one of the hardest crimes to prove, especially when there is a lack of physical evidence. In recent years, the spotlight has once again turned to Diddy and Keefe D as new information and allegations have emerged. However, it's crucial to approach these claims with caution. Speculation and hearsay can easily cloud the truth, and it's essential to rely on verified facts and evidence.
How much of it do y'all consider it being hearsay when it's coming from the man who said he was in the car? To me, that's not hearsay. He's literally telling on himself. Hearsay seemed like it come from another person who may or may not be involved in it. But when it's coming from the horse's mouth, I tend to believe that shit. But I still think it's extra him saying that Diddy gave him a bag, though. Because if he just got the bag, or he was supposed to get the bag anyway, it's kind of weird that Tupac jumped his nephew, and then that's the night that they did it. I hope you understand what I'm saying when I'm confused by that part. That just seems like a pretty big reach that Diddy was supposed to give him a bag. It seems more logical that they killed Pac because he jumped on that man. That's what seems logical to me. I don't know. And I'm not no diehard Puff Daddy fan. He's always seemed like a weirdo to me. Like, I like the music and everything, but to me, he himself seemed like a weirdo. But I don't think he involved in this. Just because he a weirdo don't mean that he did this shit, though.
The media frenzy surrounding the case has led to intense scrutiny and public judgment. Diddy and Keefe D have faced relentless speculation and accusations, with their every move dissected and analyzed. It's a challenging position to be in, as their reputations and legacies hang in the balance. Despite the controversies, Diddy has continued to thrive in his career, expanding his empire and leaving an indelible mark on the music industry. He has proven his resilience time and time again, rising above the controversies and focusing on his craft. As for Keefe D, His involvement in the Tupac murder case has brought him into the spotlight. However, without concrete evidence, it remains a subject of speculation. The burden of proof lies with the authorities, and without substantial evidence, it becomes challenging to secure a conviction. In the court of public opinion, it's important to remember that everyone is innocent until proven guilty. While the controversies surrounding Diddy and Keefe D have undoubtedly left a mark on their reputations, it's crucial to separate fact from fiction and rely on verified information. As the legal battles continue, only time will tell what the future holds for Diddy and Keefe D. Allegations against Diddy. In the world of music, scandals and controversies are no strangers. But what happens when a music mogul finds himself at the center of a shocking allegation that could tarnish his reputation forever? This is the story of Diddy, a man who has faced numerous controversies throughout his career, but none as explosive as the allegations surrounding his alleged involvement in the death of Tupac Shakur. For years, whispers and rumors have circulated about Diddy's alleged connection to Tupac's assassination. But it wasn't until recently that shocking news emerged, shedding light on a secret affair, an agreement worth up to a staggering $1 million between Diddy and a man named Keefe D, who has been accused of being involved in...
See, everybody else, this is the first time I heard $1 million. I've heard 100,000. Consistently 100,000. This is the first time I've ever heard that it was $1 million. Not that changes the fact that it happened or not, but this is the first time I've heard that.
Tupac's murder has come forward with a confession that has sent shockwaves through the music industry. According to Keefe D, Diddy orchestrated and paid for the hit on Tupac due to a deep-seated rivalry between the two. The motives behind Diddy's alleged actions are still being explored. But the revelation of this secret affair and agreement has captivated the attention of law enforcement agencies and the public alike. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department has taken on the task of uncovering any evidence that may support these shocking allegations. As the trial approaches, the fate of Keefe D, believed to be the alleged ringleader in Tupac's murder, now rests in the hands of the court. The prosecution's case is built on a combination of witness testimonies, forensic analysis, telecommunications records, and evidence of gang affiliation. The trial promises to be a
lot of their evidence came from the horse's mouth, Keefe D. Most of their case is probably going to be hanging over what he said that he was involved in.
A high-profile affair, not only due to the involvement of two influential figures in the music industry, but also because it holds the potential to bring closure to Tupac's family, friends, and fans. The outcome of this trial could also have far-reaching implications for the music industry, shaping how similar cases are handled in the future. All eyes are on the courtroom, eagerly awaiting the proceedings that could potentially bring closure to the mystery surrounding Tupac's death. The prosecution's case against Keefe D, the alleged ringleader in Tupac's murder, is built on a compelling combination of witness testimonies, forensic analysis, telecommunications records, and evidence of gang affiliation. Meanwhile, Diddy finds himself in the midst of a storm of controversies. Allegations of sexual assault and other questionable actions have plagued him, raising doubts about his character and actions. Despite these troubling accusations, Diddy has consistently managed to navigate through difficult situations relatively unscathed. His ability to weather the storm can be attributed to a combination of
his ability to weather the storm before. Like, I heard Ciroc is completely dropping his name from anything that they've ever had. Bad Boy, as a record label, really hasn't been doing anything lately. From what I was told, this situation that he's in now and with his ex-girlfriend has completely ruined him. So now he's going to TD Jakes to get swallowed. Have you ever been swallowed? My bad, TD Jakes.
factors. Diddy's charisma, charm, and business acumen have played a significant role in his ability to maintain his status and influence in the industry. Additionally, his connections and network of influential individuals have helped him leverage support when faced with adversity. However, questions have been raised about whether Diddy's connections and influence have shielded him from the consequences of his alleged actions. The denial of all allegations by Diddy's attorney further fuels the debate surrounding his character and actions. With conflicting narratives and a lack of concrete evidence, the public is left to form their own opinions about Diddy's involvement in these shocking allegations. The controversies surrounding him have painted a troubling picture, but his ability to navigate through difficult situations has been nothing short of remarkable. The trial, with its high-profile nature, holds the potential to bring closure to Tupac's family, friends, and fans. It also has far-reaching implications for the music industry, as it could shape how similar cases involving influential figures are handled in the future. Throughout his career, Diddy has faced numerous controversies and allegations, including claims of assault and inappropriate demands towards his artists. Despite these incidents, he has managed to navigate through difficult situations relatively unscathed, raising questions about his ability to escape accountability. Diddy's charisma, charm, and business acumen have played a significant role in his ability to weather the storm. His connections and network of influential individuals have also helped him leverage support when faced with adversity. However, the allegations against him have cast a dark shadow over his career, leaving the public to form their own opinions about the truth behind these shocking claims. As the trial unfolds and the truth is revealed, the music industry holds its breath, waiting to see if justice will prevail and if the actions of influential figures will finally be held accountable. Only time will tell if Diddy's luck will eventually run out and if the allegations and controversies will catch up to him. Rivalry and motives. In the 1990s, the hip-hop scene was more than just music. It was a cultural battleground, with artists from the East Coast and West Coast vying for dominance and representing their respective regions. This fierce competition went beyond lyrical prowess and chart rankings. It became emblematic of a deeper regional identity. Tupac Shakur and Christopher Wallace, famously known as Biggie Smalls or the notorious Big Tupac, a magnetic force with undeniable...
That was like the biggest beef in hip hop history, like hands down. I remember going through that. And just for the record, I was 100% West Coast on that. I thought Biggie had flavor and everything, but to me, he wasn't that artist. Just to me personally, I thought he was different. He had flavor. He had, a little pizzazz by himself. But to me, he was nowhere near like what Pac was. I went through a point in my life, like I was a teenager during this. I went through a point in my life where if Pac would have said only marks wear jewelry, I'd pull my fucking jewelry so fast. Pac spoke and I answered. Yeah, I was that big of a Pac fan. Like constantly waiting for the new Pac to drop. And it seems like during all of these issues, he was dropping a lot. Like Hit 'Em Up. Dude, everything about that song seemed like it was going to end Biggie's career and whoever else rode with him, because he got on like he's the one who brought the rest of the East Coast in on it, because at first it was just it seemed like it was a Death Row versus Bad Boy thing, and then Pac just anybody who dealt with Biggie was getting it. Pac changed the game, period. He wanted all the smoke, to be the smallest nigga ever. Little bitty ass. Throwing grown man temper tantrums. Now that I look back at him, I'm like, man, somebody should have picked this man up and burped him. What y'all doing? He obviously cranky.
charisma hailed from the West Coast. He eventually signed with Death Row Records, a label co-founded by the enigmatic Suge Knight. On the other side, Biggie, with his smooth flow and intricate storytelling abilities, represented the East Coast and was the star talent of Bad Boy Records, led by the entrepreneurial Sean Diddy Combs. The rivalry between Tupac and Biggie went beyond the music. It was a clash of cultures, a battle for supremacy between the East Coast and the West Coast. Fans and artists alike.
If you don't know how to make chords, this is it. Congratulations. The chords are already made for you.
And we can drag one of these chord progressions in.
Chose sides, pledging their allegiance to either Tupac or Biggie. The rivalry became a defining
You did feel like you had to
decade,
choose sides,
setting the tone for the entire hip-hop industry. But what fueled this rivalry? It wasn't simply about lyrical prowess or chart success. It was about more than that. It was about regional pride, personal vendettas, and the desire to be on top. The East Coast-West Coast rivalry became a symbol of the larger cultural divide between the two coasts. The tension between the East Coast and West Coast escalated as the rap industry evolved. By the mid-90s, rap had transformed from an underground movement to a global phenomenon. It wasn't just about music anymore. It was about merchandise, endorsements, and establishing dynasties. The value of the rap industry skyrocketed, and with that rise came the increased importance of maintaining relevance and market share. Both Suge Knight and Diddy recognized the commercial potential of controversy. Whether orchestrated or organic, the feud between Tupac and Biggie kept the spotlight on their respective labels, ensuring continued sales and media attention. It was often whispered that some of the publicized events were more theater than genuine beef, a way to generate buzz and maintain their positions at the top of the rap game. But amidst the drama,
I was wondering that back then too, because it seemed like Pac was full steam ahead. His beef seemed real because he got shot 5 times dealing with Biggie. So his seemed real, but Biggie wouldn't respond. So to me, it seemed like it was one-sided, and I did wonder why did Pop keep it going? So at that point, it seemed like it was for a commercial value or reason. But yeah, it was definitely like one-sided. He started talking about sleeping with this man, sleeping with Faith, Biggie's wife, and had pictures of Faith coming out of a hotel room with it. So it seemed one-sided, but that one side seemed real, 100% real. Yeah.
Drama and rumors, there were real consequences. The rivalry between Tupac and Biggie took a tragic turn. In 1994, Tupac was shot at Quad Recording Studios in New York. He later accused Biggie, among others, of having prior knowledge of the attack, intensifying the rivalry and fueling speculation of a deeper conspiracy. The tension between the two coasts reached its boiling point in the mid-90s. The East Coast-West Coast rivalry became more than just a battle of words. It became a battle for survival. The stakes were high, and the consequences were deadly. The tragic events of September 7th, 1996, and March 9th, 1997, shook the hip-hop world to its core. Tupac was gunned down in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas, while Biggie met a similar fate in Los Angeles. The investigations into their deaths were marred by controversy, with critics accusing the police of a lack of effort and possible cover-ups. The 7-day theory and Biggie's life after death only added fuel to the speculation, with some questioning if their deaths were part of a macabre marketing strategy. The East Coast-West Coast rivalry was not just
that part I don't believe in. How people say that Suge sacrificed Tupac and Puffy sacrificed Biggie. I believe there's people behind everybody we see that are pulling the strings, but I don't believe it's Illuminati or whatever you want to call it. That part I don't believe in. I just never did believe in that. I believe somebody's pulling the strings, but I don't think that there's an actual group of people that you have to sacrifice somebody to join those group of people. So the stuff Cat Williams was saying, I don't believe that. Like Kanye sacrificed his mother to, no. His mother was the most important thing in his life, and it seemed like she was the person who held him together mentally. Because after she died, it went off the rails. So yeah, personally, I don't believe in all that. So no, I'm not a member yet. And no, ain't no mysterious people died around me. Hopefully I never get that big. I want to be the level under Illuminati. The level where they not bothering you. They don't want you to do shit. You ain't got to put on a dress. You ain't got to sacrifice nobody. I want to be that level.
About music. It was a cultural phenomenon that captivated the world. It was a clash of personalities, egos, and ambitions. But behind the scenes, there may have been more at play. Rumors of a secret pact between Suge Knight and Diddy began to circulate, suggesting that these two moguls had colluded to eliminate their competition and monopolize the industry. The deaths of Tupac Shakur and the Notorious Big left the hip-hop world in shock and mourning. But amidst the grief, questions...
Yeah, because it was kind of weird. Like, these two had a battle, like a war. And then they died within like 6 months of each other. Tupac named himself Machiavelli on his last CD. And if you know who Machiavelli was, he faked his own death so he could come back, kill his enemies, and nobody would think it was him. So when Pac died, in the back of my heart somewhere, I wanted to still hold on to the fact that it's probably, he on some Machiavelli stuff. Because rumors were coming around that he was never dead right when he died. And then Biggie died. I'm like, nigga, Tupac might really be in Cuba. I know it's not true, but back then, that's how I felt. Like, hold on, man, maybe. It seemed like it added up to me.
Lingered. Who was responsible for these tragic losses? Were there hidden motives and secret alliances at play? The investigations into Tupac and Biggie's deaths were marred by controversy and speculation, leaving fans and authorities alike searching for answers. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police faced immense scrutiny for their handling of Tupac's case. Critics pointed out their slow response in gathering evidence and their failure to make any arrests. The investigation seemed to hit a dead end, leaving many to wonder if the truth would ever come to light. Similarly, the investigation into Biggie's death, led by the LAPD, faced criticism for what many believed was a lack of genuine effort to solve the crime. The public's frustration grew as the years went by without any significant breakthroughs. But then, in a twist of fate, an old tweet resurfaced, shedding new light on the case. The tweet, credited to Keenan Loki Jackson, a one-time affiliate of Death Row Records, hinted at a hidden truth behind the rivalry. It read, "Seen a lot in the 90s. Some big players made moves in silence while the world watched the noise. That there was a secret pact between Suge Knight and Diddy, an alliance that aimed to eliminate their competition and monopolize the industry. The implications were far-reaching, potentially rewriting the history of 90s hip-hop. However, doubts about the tweet's authenticity arose. Critics questioned its relevance and the identity of the person who took the screenshot. Was it a genuine cry for justice, a calculated move for personal gain, or an attempt to cast a shadow on Diddy and Suge Knight? The truth remained elusive. Legal experts weighed in on the tweet's admissibility as evidence. While it stood on shaky ground, they acknowledged that it could potentially open new avenues of investigation. The emergence of the tweet forced both Diddy and Suge Knight to once again defend themselves against allegations of foul play, condemning the perpetuation of baseless rumors.
Now I feel like he's trying to say Suge name wrong. And yeah, I have to focus on that. Anybody in the hip hop culture, period, knows that that man's name is Suge Knight. Not Shugi, Shuji, whatever he keeps saying. Come on, dude. Maybe he not from here, but he pretending to be. But he sound American as hell. And I've done one of his videos before. If you watch the video I did on Mystical, I believe this is the dude that did that. I think it is. I'm gonna have to check my notes.
The implications of the tweet were earth-shattering. If true, it meant that the deaths of Tupac and Biggie were not merely the result of a feud between two artists, but rather a calculated plan to eliminate their competition. It would permanently alter the legacy of 90s hip-hop and its most iconic figures. But amidst the speculation and theories, it is crucial to remember the complexity of the situation. The East Coast-West Coast rivalry was not solely about personal vendettas or hidden alliances. It was a clash of cultures, a battle for supremacy in an industry that had become a global phenomenon. The investigations into Tupac and Biggie's deaths were further complicated by the involvement of gangs. Tupac had affiliations with the mob.
How do you take 20,000 children in the middle of New York City without anybody seeing?
Peru Bloods, while Biggie had loose ties to the Crips. Informants from these gangs provided a flood of information, often contradictory, muddying the waters.
What do you mean Biggie had loose ties with the Crips? I thought Puffy and Keefe was like A1.
Tupac had affiliations with the mob Peru Bloods, while Biggie had loose ties to the Crips. Informants from these gangs provided a flood of information, often contradictory, muddying the waters of the investigations. As we delve deeper into the mysteries surrounding the deaths of Tupac and Biggie, we must approach the revelations with caution. The truth may be elusive, but it is our duty to seek it. We want to hear from you. Share your thoughts, insights, and theories in the comments below. Together, we will uncover the hidden truths behind the Tupac-Biggie rivalry and the motives that may have led to their untimely demise.
I wish we could speed up the time and find out what the hell happened in this case. There's been more documentaries and movies about this. I feel like it's like Amityville Horror. Like they on the 15th Amityville Horror. There's been just that many movies and documentaries about this. We need closure. Like right now, we need some closure.
Legal proceedings and media coverage.
And my goal here today is to walk you through our investigation and what led us to the indictment of Dwayne Davis, also known as Keefe D, for the murder of Tupac Shakur.
As the sun set over the outskirts of Las Vegas, a significant development unfolded in the long-standing murder case of iconic rapper Tupac Shakur. After 27 years of speculation and mystery, the police finally made a breakthrough. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, a known figure in the criminal underworld, was arrested and formally...
You can't tell me he's not doing this shit on purpose. Keefe D. Everybody know his name is Keefe D. Come on, dude. Get out the culture. You no longer want it here.
charged with the murder that shook the music industry to its core. The arrest of Davis came as a shock to many, as he had been on investigators' radar for quite some time as one of the four initial suspects. Authorities had been meticulously building their case, gathering evidence, and patiently waiting for the right moment to make their move. And that moment came when Davis was out for a seemingly innocent stroll near his residence. On that fateful day, as Davis walked the streets, little did he know that his freedom was about to come crashing down. The police, armed with a carefully crafted plan, swiftly moved in to apprehend him. The arrest was executed with precision, leaving no room for escape or resistance. Hours after Davis was taken into custody, prosecutors made a stunning announcement in court. A Nevada grand jury had issued an indictment against him for one count of murder with a deadly weapon. The gravity of the charges sent shockwaves through the courtroom as the reality of the situation began to sink in. But that was not all. The jury had also decided to include a sentencing enhancement related to gang activity. This enhancement, if Davis is found guilty, could potentially result in an additional 20 years being added to his sentence. The implications of this enhancement were significant, as it highlighted the alleged involvement of organized crime.
All right, dude's taking the wrong angle on this. Keefe D had what was known as a princess for a day kind of deal, where anything that he admitted to that day couldn't be held against him. And he admitted to the Tupac murder, or Queen for a Day, something like that is called. But it gives him immunity for that day to admit to anything that he's done, and there's nothing that they can do about it. So Keefe D assumed that since there's nothing that they can do about it for him admitted to it, he thought that would carry on past that day. So he admitted to it that day. But then once he repeated it in a book, they were able to swoop in on him and snatch him up. When he repeated it on Vlad TV, they were able to swoop in on him and snatch him up. Now, Vlad, you said that you're not connected to the feds in no kind of way because nothing that none of your videos have ever been used in anyone's trial. Your video was used in Keefe D's trial. Your video is evidence. But that's Keefe D fault. That's not Vlad's fault. Yeah, I don't think that's Vlad's fault. Keefe D admitted to doing what he did. Just because it's on, Vlad asked him a question about it. Vlad only asked him a question about what he put in his own book. He did that. It's not like Vlad went out of his way to get him to confess to something that he didn't already confess to. But he knew what kind of deal he had in place, and he shouldn't have wrote that damn book. That's him trying to capitalize off of what already happened. So your queen for a day shit lasted for one day. So when you wrote that book, you overstepped your boundaries. You canceled yourself out.
Time in the murder of Tupac Shakur. As the legal proceedings unfolded, the world watched with bated breath. The evidence against Davis was meticulously presented, leaving little room for doubt. The prosecution painted a vivid picture of the events that transpired on that fateful night, meticulously connecting the dots and establishing Davis's role in the crime. During the search conducted at Davis's residence, authorities made a startling discovery. Multiple electronic devices such as hard drives, tablets, and laptops were confiscated. These devices held a treasure trove of information, potentially shedding light on the intricate details of the murder case. Additionally, documents related to TV programs, documentaries, YouTube episodes, book manuscripts, and movies that revolved around Tupac's passing were also seized. Among the items were a copy of Vibe magazine featuring Tupac and a book titled Compton Street Legend, which Davis had co-authored. The interest in Davis had been piqued by his appearance in the Netflix documentary series Unsolved and the subsequent release of his book Compton Street Legend. In both the documentary and the book, Davis made insinuations about his involvement in the murder, hinting at his presence in the car with the individual responsible for Tupac's untimely demise. However, it is important to note that Davis had initially denied any involvement during the initial investigations and had been cleared of all charges. The sudden change in his narrative, as presented in the documentary and book, raised eyebrows and cast a shadow of doubt over his previous claims of innocence. In a 2019 interview on Vlad TV, Davis finally acknowledged his role in the passing of Tupac. He confirmed that he had been the passenger in the white Cadillac on the night of the incident. While he refused to disclose the identities of the other individuals in the car, he confirmed that the shooter was Orlando Anderson, his nephew. Davis mentioned that the shooting was in retaliation for an earlier altercation at the MGM Grand, where Tupac and his crew had jumped Orlando. But the shocking revelations didn't end there. Davis had previously claimed that Sean Diddy Combs, a prominent figure in the music industry, had masterminded the whole incident. According to Davis, Diddy had paid him $1 million to take out both Tupac and Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight. Former LAPD detective Greg Kading, who had worked on the cases of both Tupac and Biggie Smalls, publicly stated that investigators had evidence of Diddy's involvement. In fact, there was a recording of Davis confessing this to investigators years ago. The arrest and formal charges against Davis have sent shockwaves through the music industry and the public alike. The question on everyone's mind is, why did it take 27 years for the authorities to bring him to justice? Despite his public confessions over the years, Davis had seemingly evaded the long arm of the law. Speculation and theories abound, with some suggesting that the authorities were waiting for Davis to be willing to...
Personally, I think Keefe D is kind of like stretching the truth. I believe Tupac died because of that ass whooping they put on Keefe D's nephew. And it'll just be a little juicier if he throw Puff Daddy in the mix. Although I do think Puff Daddy's grimy and does all the things that other media outlets say that he does. I don't think he had anything to do with Tupac dying. That's my personal opinion. And we all know what they say about opinions. Opinionated 3 stacks out.